It is with great pleasure that I welcome you all to the conference plenary session. We have three speakers today who, working with the title of Dreaming of Home, Film and Imaginary Territories of the Real, have all come to provide what I think are engaging and thoughtful insights into the process by which film, as a unique medium that works with time and place, expresses something of the unbridgeable gap between memory, longing and displacement, which is qualities associated with the idea of home. That word displacement, of course, covers a multitude of meanings for indeed a multitude of people for a multitude of motivations, some of which I'm sure we will examine here. The plenary is built around the idea that film as a practice, as a medium, as a strategy of cultural intervention, plays a key role in the tensions inherent in the idea of home. The artist then struggles with this process. In his essay From Imaginary Homelands, published in the London Review of Books in 1982, Salman Rushdie wrote that writers as exiles or emigrants or expatriates are haunted by an urge to look back, that their physical alienation from their homeland inevitably means that they will not be capable of reclaiming precisely the thing that was lost, that they will create fictions, not actual cities or villages, but invisible ones, imaginary ones, homelands of the mind. Such writers deal in broken mirrors, he says, some of whose fragments have been irretrievably lost. It is this idea of creating fictions, specifically cinematic fictions, from such fragments and these journeys of the mind that we consider here today. As Hamid Nafisi observes, journeys are rarely simple or homogeneous, but more often are composite and evolutionary. Many of these films are marked by a nostalgia understood as a pain for the desire of home, not a home necessarily as a particular place or time, but home as a place that holds space and time within it, a kind of cinematic snow globe we habitually hold and stare into for a brief moment of reverie and emotional connection. The title of the session is inspired by Borges and his reflection on representations in the real and the necessitating of a certain kind of gap between these. The abstract for the talk references Calvino and his imaginative musings on the very process of storytelling and its elements. Both of these writers spoke of the idea of dreaming and this switching between different realities. And this leads us to film then as another kind of dreaming. So in composing the panel, my intention is to engage more critically with the need to have a sense of the movement between the abstraction of theory and concepts and the challenges of filmmaking, where one has to arrange whatever material forces you have in front of you, of how we move from the idea to the actual or partial. The philosopher Deleuze, who wrote 2 books on cinema, writes eloquently about time. But Tarkovsky creates what he describes as time sculptures, films that must give form in an anthropocentric way that yearn for a certain divine ideal. For both of these, time is out of joint, where the evident continuity of film consists of a perpetual discontinuity. The struggle of the artist filmmaker is not to represent time, but to enact it through relationships on screen. And this is what we will consider today. So without further ado, let me introduce our speakers. I will introduce them in the order that they will present. They will present for about 15 minutes each, and then we will open up for discussion and also take any questions. The first speaker will be Nilgun Bayraktar. Nilgun is Assistant Professor of Film History, Theory and Criticism in the Visual Studies program at the California College of the Arts. Her work focuses on migrant and diasporic cinema in Europe, transnational cinema, experimental and avant-garde cinema, projected image art and performance. In 2016, she published Mobility and Migration in Film and Moving Image Art, Cinema Beyond Europe, which examines cinematic and artistic representations of migration and mobility in Europe since the 1990s. Currently, she is a research fellow at the Chair of European Literature and Culture, University of Groningen. Our second speaker is Les Roberts. Les is Senior Lecturer in Cultural and Media Studies in the Department of Communication and Media at the University of Liverpool. Les's research interests and practice fall within the areas of urban cultural studies, cultural memory, and digital spatial humanities. With a background in anthropology and cultural studies, his work explores the intersection between space, place, mobility, and memory, with a particular focus on film and popular music cultures. Les is the author of the 2012 work, Film, Mobility and Urban Space, A Cinematic Geography of Liverpool, and has edited multiple collections, but most recently he published the monograph, Spatial Anthropology, Excursions in Liminal Space. Our last speaker will be Christine Malloy. Christine is a filmmaker working in partnership with Joe Lawler as the production company Desperate Optimists. Born in Ireland, they now live and work in London. They started out devising theatre and then moved into film in the early 2000s. They are known for their collaborations with community groups throughout the UK, Ireland and Singapore. A defining feature of their work is to shoot on 35mm film, as well as the use of the long take. And in this way, all their work has a close relationship to the idea of a cinematic experience. Between 2003 and 2010, Christine co-wrote and directed 10 acclaimed short films as part of the Civic Light project, including the film Joy, which won the UIP prize at the Rotterdam International Film Festival. In 2008, they produced their first feature, Helen. In 2013, then their second feature, Mr. John. Their 2016 debut documentary film, Further Beyond, will be screening tomorrow night as part of the conference at Arenan again. And so, at this stage then, I hand over to Nilgun.